Warble child, make passionate my sense of hearing. Concolino, sweet air, go tenderness of years. Take this key, give enlargement to the swain, bring him festinately hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love. Master, will you win your love with a French brawl? How meanest thou brawling in French? No, my complete master, but to jig off a tune at the tongue's end, canary it to with your feet, humor it with turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometimes through the throat, as if you swallowed love with singing love, sometimes through the nose, as if you snuffed up love by smelling love, with your hat penthouse like o'er the shop of your eyes, with your arms crossed on your thin-bellied doublet like a rabbit on a spit, or your hands in your pocket like a man after the old painting. And keep not too long in one tune, but a snip and away. These are compliments, these are humours, these betray nice wenches that would be betrayed without these, and make them men of note. Do you note me, that most are affected to these? How hast thou purchased this experience? By my penny of observation. But oh, the hobby horse is forgot. Callest thou my love hobby horse? No, master, the hobby horse is but a colt, and your love perhaps a hackney. But have you forgot your love? Almost I had. Negligent student, learn her by heart and in heart, boy. And out of heart, master, all those three I will prove. What wilt thou prove? A man, if I live in this by-in and without, upon the instant, by heart you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart you love her, because your heart is in love with her. And out of heart you love her, being out of heart that you cannot enjoy her. I am all these three. And 3 times as much more, and yet nothing at all. Fetch hither the swain. He must carry me a letter. A message was sympathized, a horse to be ambassador for an ass. Ha ha! What sayest thou? Marry, sir, you must send the ass upon the horse, for he is very slow-gated, but I go. The way is but short, away. As swift as lead, sir. Thy meaning pretty ingenious is not lead or metal, heavy, dull, and slow. Many me, honest master, or rather master, no. I say lead is slow. You are too swift, sir, to say so is that lead slow which is fired from a gun. Sweet smoke of rhetoric, he reputes me a cannon, and the bullet that's he. I shoot thee at the swing. Thump then, and I flee. A most acute juvenile, voluble, and fully free of grace. By thy favour, sweet wherein I must sign in thy face most rude melancholy, valor gives thee place, my herald is returned. I wonder, master, his accosted broken in a shin. Some enigma, some riddle, come, thy envoi begin. No enigma, no riddle, no l'envoi, no solve. In the mail, sir, oh, Sir Plantain, a plain plantain, no l'envoi, no solve, sir, but a plantain. By virtue thou enforcest laughter, thy silly thought, my spleen, the heaving of my lungs provokes me to ridiculous smiling. Oh, pardon me, my stars, doth the inconsiderate take salve for a l'envoi, and the word l'envoi for a solve? Do the wise think them other? Is not l'envoi a solve? No page, it is an epilogue, or a discourse, to make plain some obscure precedence that hath tofore been slain. I will example it. The fox, the ape, and the humble-bee were still at odds, being but 3. There's the moral. Now the l'envoi. I will add the l'envoi, say the moral again. The fox, the ape, and the humble-bee were still at odds, being but 3. Until the goose came out of door and stayed the odds by adding 4. Now will I begin your moral, or do you follow with my l'envoi? The fox, the ape, and the humble-bee were still at odds, being but 3. Until the goose came out of door, staying the odds by adding 4. A good l'envoi, ending in the goose, would you desire more? The box hath sold him a bargain. A goose that's flat, so your pennyworth is good, and your goose be fat. To sell a bargain well is as cunning as fast and loose. Let me see a fat lanvois. Aye, that's a fat goose. Come hither, how did this argument begin? By saying that a custard was broken in his shin, then called for you. The lanvois. True, and I for a plantain. Thus came your argument in, then the boy's fat lanvois, the goose that you bought, and he ended the market. But tell me, how was their custard broken in a shin? I will tell you sensibly. Thou hast no feeling of it, mote. I will speak that lanvois I custard running out that was safely within, fell over the threshold and broke my shin. We will talk no more of this matter, till there be more matter in this shin. Sirrah custard, I will enfranchise thee. Oh, marry me to one Francis, I smell one lanvois, some goose in this. By my sweet soul, I mean setting thee at liberty, and freedoming by thy person, thou wert immured, restrained, captivated, bound. True, true, and now you will be my purgation, and let me loose. I give thee thy liberty, set thee from durance, and in lieu thereof impose on thee nothing but this. Bear this significant to the country maid, Jaquinetta. There is remuneration, for the best reward of mine honour is rewarding my dependents mote follow. Like the sequel, I, Signor Custard, adieu. My sweet ounce of man's flesh, my enconny Jew, now will I look to his remuneration. Remuneration, oh, that's the Latin word for 3 farthings. 3 farthings, remuneration. What's the price of this inkle? 1 penny? No. I'll give you a remuneration. Why, it carries it. Remuneration. Why, it is a fairer name than French crown. I will never buy and sell out of this word. My good knave custard, exceedingly well met. Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for a remuneration? What is remuneration? Marry, sir, halfpenny farthing. Why then, 3 farthing worth of soup. I thank your worship. God be with you. Stay, slave, I must employ thee, as thou wilt win my favour, good my knave. Do one thing for me that I shall entreat. When would you have it done, sir? This afternoon. Well, I will do it, sir, fare you well. Thou knowest not what it is. I shall know, sir, when I have done it. Why, villain, thou must first know first. I will come to your worship tomorrow morning. It must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave, it is but this. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there's a gentle lady. When tongue speaks sweetly, then they name her name, and Rosaline they call her, ask for her, and to her wild hand see thou do command this sealed up counsel. There's thy wedding, go. Gardon, a sweet Gardon, better than remuneration, a Levapon's farthing better, most sweet Gardon. I would do it, sir, in print. Gardon, remuneration. And I, forsooth, in love, in that have been love's whip, a very beadle to a humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night watch, constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal so magnificent, this wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior, junior, giant dwarf, Dan Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator of great general, of trotting heritors. Oh, my little heart, And I to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colours like a tumbler's hoop. What? I love, I sue, I seek a wife, a woman, is like a German clock, still a-repairing, ever out of frame, and never going right, being a watch, but being watched that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all, and among three, to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton with a velvet brow, with 2 pitched balls stuck in her face for eyes, aye, and by heaven one that will do that deed, though Argus were her eunuch and her guard, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to, it is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty dreadful little might. Well, I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, groan. Some men must love my lady, and some drone.